The federal government is pushing for a spike in domestic tourism to support the sector. It's a confident move in a country that's managed to keep case numbers low, with infections below 3,000 and only 2 new reported cases on Sunday.
Funerals can now have 100 people present. There also no longer will be a need for funerals or tangihanga to pre-register via the Ministry of Health, as they had been previously doing to date. The move to 100 also allows community sport to operate more easily, and I understand Sporting Codes have been working on operational guidance with Sport New Zealand. Large-scale events like concerts will obviously still have those restrictions applied in terms of size, but the shift to 100-person maximum means many more gatherings will be able to occur from now on. These changes are good news for business and for those looking to plan larger gatherings. It's another step in renormalising of life as we continue to stamp out the virus.
Today, the state of emergency will be lifted for the entire nation. Recently, new infection cases have fallen below 50 for the entire nation, and what was once nearly 10,000 hospitalised cases, that has now fallen below 2,000. Our lifting criteria, which has been set at an extremely strict level compared to the world, has been met nationwide.
New York's Metropolitan Transportation Authority has unveiled new technology aimed at stopping the spread of COVID-19. The agency will use ultraviolet lights on trains and buses when they're off service. The hope is to stop coronavirus in its tracks. Dr. David Brenner joins me now. He's the director of the Center for Radiological Research at Columbia University.
The Prime Minister has asked the Home Secretary and I to work on how we can remove NHS and care workers from the NHS surcharge as soon as possible. And I'm very pleased to be able to do that. I've already spoken to the Home Secretary and we'll be saying more on how we do this in the next few days.
Is coming to EDSA, change is coming to the bus service in Metro Manila. Now, let's go back to that slide. Can we go back to that slide to show the problem?
Yeah, that was pre-COVID, wasn't it? A lot of people. Now, we don't want that happening from June 1st, do we?
Yes. Here you can see the problems on EDSA. Number one is that there are too many buses crowding the road, and then the sidewalks are too narrow. So that's why pedestrians and commuters, they spill onto the road pavement.
Right, so how do you now reassign the spaces? I mean, we're not just talking about buses, but cars and trains in one highway, and the pedestrians as well.
Including, yes. So the solution is in this next slide. Here, this is the solution, okay? The busways currently at the curbside or beside the sidewalk has been proven to be ineffective, because the buses just stagnate there together with other private vehicles. So the solution is to create dedicated busways, and it should be placed at the median adjacent to the MRT3 tracks. Now, these busways has to be protected and isolated from other vehicles so that buses can continuously run like a train to optimize the busway, and in order to generate a higher throughput rate of commuters, because that should be the objective of this reform. Passengers, commuters must get to their destination as fast as possible.
And in fact, yesterday I conducted an ocular inspection of the very famous Changi area, wherein I saw for myself that they are now doing a relayout of the thousands of stalls inside, and the stalls will not be in line anymore. There's now ample space in between each stall. They were now conducting their own inspection also to ensure that the physical spacing of each stall is actually more than what is being required by the DOH. And they have now set up safety and security protocols inside the mall.
Okay.
Hiyawan ang sumalubong kay Lola Natalia Vicente habang palabas ng ospital matapos gumaling sa COVID-19. Napag-alaman ng bayan mo ipatrol mo sa pinsan ni Lola Natalia na si Marina na sa edad na 90 may history siya ng colon cancer kaya't mahina ang kanyang resistensya. Na-admit sa ospital si Lola Natalia noong April 6. Nagkaroon ng pneumonia at nagpositibo sa COVID-19.
We have to start preparing for the revival and reopening of tourism in the Philippines once our places are classified under the modified GC. Yes, travel as we know it will change forever. That is why it is important that we embrace the new normal and equip our industry stakeholders with the appropriate tools and knowledge to recover and succeed in the post-lockdown era.
Secretary Mark De Leon says government is finalizing guidelines on how to integrate cycling under the new normal and beyond.
Local government units have started their own bike lanes, so we really encourage them to interconnect and build those bike lanes para mas lumapad ang ating network.
The Transport Department also says if new bike lanes cannot be made, secondary and tertiary roads may be designated exclusively for bikes.
The Philippine Navy is commemorating its 122nd year this month. Navy Chief Vice Admiral Giovanni Bacordo sat down with CNN Philippines to talk about the challenges facing the organization as it defends the country's maritime borders and boosts government response during this time of pandemic. In this one-on-one with our senior correspondent David Santos, Vice Admiral Bacordo begins by paying tribute to sailors, Marines, and reservists who are serving with healthcare workers.